Marie, do you want to start?
Yeah. Hi, Jack.
Hello.
So, obviously, it's early in the week. How is everybody? Is there belief in the squad that you have it in you to have a big week ahead of you?
Yeah, obviously it's early. It's just we've only just met up yesterday. Do you know what I mean? First session today, but no, for myself personally, it's nice to be back and just seeing all the boys again and the staff. You know, obviously been around for the last 4 or 5 years now, and you build relationships with people. So no, I was just delighted to see all the staff and the boys again.
Obviously, it's really tough on you to miss out last month, but it must have made it even tougher to be watching that game against Armenia.
Yeah, no. First and foremost, obviously it was really tough for me. Gutted to not be selected and called up for your country is tough. But then same as watching the game. Obviously, got a few days off, went home to see my family and stuff in Waterford, and yeah, it was hard to watch. Yeah, really tough to watch.
What was your mindset when you were left out? Obviously, you probably spoke to Hamir and you just kind of head down and this being your number one goal to get back in.
Yeah, you probably feel a lot of emotions. You can be angry, disappointed, gutted. Like a lot of things go through. Yeah, I was just feeling all those sort of emotions, and just happy to be back. Yeah.
Could you understand why you were left out? Did you say you were angry there, or did you?
It's a tough one. Not particularly. I don't know. I think as a player, you always probably, if I feel like I should be in the squad, then I shouldn't be here. You always have to back yourself, and yeah, I believe I should be here, and yeah, you have to back yourself or you're going to struggle. So yeah, I was obviously gutted.
Gavin, conversations.
Jayson, how are you?
Good.
Did Hammer or John give you a reason for not calling you?
No, I didn't really get a reason. No, obviously, there's however many lads to pick from. Yeah, I didn't really get a reason or anything, but obviously, I'm sure they were just focused on the players that they had selected, and their communication was probably more lean towards them boys and focusing on the group, and obviously I wasn't in it. So
What's your form like yourself? What do you think?
yeah, I feel like I've started well this season. I feel like I've started all the games for West Brom in the league. I feel like I'm in a good place, but yeah, obviously I'm playing the championship. It's a tough level. I'm not playing at the top level like the Premier League. But I feel like in myself, I know what I am as a player. I'm not gonna dribble past 3 players and stick it in the top corner. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I care a lot about playing football and playing for Ireland, and I'll always go and do my best. And if that's not good enough, that's for other people to judge. It's not on me. It's just me going and doing my best.
What was lacking from watching the game in Yerevan? He just passed right through the Irish centre for most of the game. What do you feel was lacking, or if not your opinion, what has the group discussed this yet, or what's your take on it, if not the group?
Yeah, there obviously has been discussions in the group. It's really difficult for me to speak on a game I wasn't involved in. I don't really want to disrespect anyone or give my thoughts, because it's unfair on the boys that I've played, and I don't want to give my opinion when I've been there as a player, when I've played games that you're expected to win or expected to dominate, and you haven't, and it's a tough place to be. So I don't really want to comment.
Gavin.
Yes.
Gavin, can you please?
How are you, Jayson? You
Good.
mentioned your strengths there. When you're watching a game against Armenia, is it hard not to think, oh, I could bring this, or I could bring that to the team? And if so, what do you think you could?
Yeah, obviously you back yourself. Like I said, my strengths are I'm passionate. I care. I work as hard as I can. I feel like I don't get enough credit personally for my technical ability. I'm not over technical. I'm not unbelievable technically, but I know I can definitely manage myself, and I feel like I'm good enough on the ball to play at this level, 100%. And I feel like I get looked over sometimes with that part of my game. But yeah, I feel like I can contribute and help, give everything.
And when you say you feel you get looked over for your technical qualities, is that looked over by managers and coaches or external?
I think external are a bit both really, because I think sometimes I could be maybe a bit unselfish. I think I can overwork and try too hard nearly, and sort of empty the tank too early, and I'm just trying to do my best. But I feel like I'm managing that better, and I feel I've put in some good performances this year with West Brom. Waiting without the ball. So yeah, I feel like I'm definitely good enough.
Andy, please.
Jayson, last Saturday you were up against both Smallbone with Dale at Millwall. What's it like coming up against one of your, international colleagues like club games?
Yeah, no, it's always nice to see the boys. Obviously Will, I like Will a lot as a player. He's a great lad. Obviously you're competing against him, and we're both trying to get out of the championship sort of thing. So it's tough, and the championship's relentless. That was probably the third game in a week for us. I think we travelled away to Norwich, had a Wednesday night game, and then got back at 2:30 in the morning, and then back down Friday night to London for game Saturday. It's tough, it's tough on the body, mentally, physically. It's really tough, but it's always nice to see the lads.
And is there a special, like a competitive sort of edge, like when you?
I think it's just like that every game. You don't really look at what lads you're playing against. Really, you just think it's just another game, because there's so many of them, especially in the championship. 46 games a year or whatever. So it's a good out slog.
I mean, you'll certainly be bringing that sort of competitiveness into the training this week. In terms of getting back into the starting lineup.
I'm pretty happy to be here at the minute. Obviously after the last one, and yeah, like I said, I feel like I can hopefully help and try and compete for a start or to get minutes.
Ed?
Hey Jayson, I suppose there was a lot of talk in the last camp of the two number 6 roles that the manager likes to set out with his formation. For such a game as this one, that must give you confidence that you've been brought back in to do a job in the Portugal game. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, hopefully. That's obviously what I want. I want to play for Ireland. I don't know. I think I can be a bit self-critical at times as well. I'm no. I think it's hard to feel like to justify myself. Starting for Ireland when I've started many games in the past for Ireland. We haven't won a lot of games, so I take that personally. I'm not here to say I should be playing for Ireland, but not really, because it hasn't been a successful time since I've been here. Haven't really achieved much personally. I haven't played at a big tournament, haven't won a big away fixture against Portugal or France, so it's tough. I obviously believe in myself, but it's hard when you're not getting the results after being here for so long.
But you have played in many of these big games and big performances aside from the results. How do you, when you face someone like Portugal, like group favourites, one of the best in Europe, how do you personally prepare for this? Is there extra emphasis on mental concentration, and does that affect like discipline and, as you say, technical ability on the ball? How much of an effect is it, and how hard is that, I suppose?
Yeah, it is really hard. Obviously, it's jumping up levels as well from the championship. I'm playing the championship. I'm going to play against Portugal. They've got some world-class players, the best players in the world. It is obviously a massive jump, and obviously you just prepare like every other game, but there isn't added incentive. You're playing for your country. It's always the same when you play for your country. For me, I just try and stay the same as I do with every game, and just try and compete. It's hard to regulate your emotions sometimes because you care a lot about playing for Ireland, but yeah, you just gotta give everything. That's the minimum. Just do as much as you can.
Okay.
Hey Jayson, you mentioned earlier you were angry not being in the last time. Are you now here that you have to prove people wrong within the camp as well as outside?
Yeah, I think so. Football is just constant, isn't it? It's like there's no there's no rest. It's relentless. You know, like I say in the championship, you know, I could play well Friday. I've got a game Tuesday. Then I've got another game Friday or Saturday. You can't dwell on things, or even, you know, you play bad. It's the same thing. You need to just keep going. It's really relentless and it's tough. You can never get too high and too low. So I just try and stay as balanced as I can and crack on with it really.
Jayson, just last year when there was talk of, you know, how you were saying that you wanted more physicality in midfield, I know name was mentioned a lot around that time. Just when you're talking about your belief in your own technical abilities, does it kind of frustrate you when you're kind of grouped in that kind of thinking? Do you think like maybe you'd like to be seen more as a technical player in that way?
Not really more as a technical player, I would say. I feel like I am good enough on the ball to like play at this level. I'm not just some lad who's running around kicking people, do you know what I mean? Obviously it's part of my game where I like to be aggressive and I like to try and add energy to the game and stuff, and I just believe in myself, I guess.
It's been nearly a year since you played for Ireland for a variety of reasons. Like, have you spoken to the coach about what your role might be in this window?
Not in this window, no. I haven't really spoke to him on a personal level about obviously the game coming up or anything, but I've had chats with him in the past and stuff, and I obviously got to know sort of what he likes, and like I said, I'm not the biggest, but I do feel like I'm still physical when playing. Yeah.
Finally, Sean.
Just started along the question before last, like when Heimer came in first, he thought one of the things we were lacking was that we were missing the bastard was the word that he used, you know, in terms of someone who was tenacious or being a nuisance, or John O'Shea said we have to get back to being horrible to play against. Like, could you associate with that? You say, well, I can.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can be tough to play against. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, I can be aggressive. You know, I'm not over aggressive. Obviously, I've had, you know, a couple of silly red cards in the past and stuff, but I've had 2 red cards in my career. Do you know what I mean? I've played 200, 250 games or whatever. It's not, people can label you like ill discipline or something, but I'm an aggressive player. It's going to happen sometimes that, you know, you overstep the mark. But I think, like I said, just to reiterate, I just do my best and work as hard as I can to do my best.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jayson.
Thank you.
Yeah.